meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet
Philip
you
or
too.
Philippe or Felipe?
Philippe, as you can probably hear, I was born in
I hear
France.
the French. I took French in high school for 3 years. So
I think if you reflect on and find really what are your soft skills, you can build around that and shift completely from industry, from type of work, and find something that matches your soft skills, not only your hard skills. And Scuba for me is something like that. My soft skill, as you mentioned, I, I'm approachable.
yeah, you
and,
are.
and and I think Scuba is about that. When you teach scuba diving to students, or um, you need to be approachable. You need to be able to popularize complicated concepts into something easy to understand. And every crisis is a wake-up call that shakes your certainties and hopefully helps unlock your creativity. With COVID, I think a lot of people have been left to some degrees of precarity, and their number one preoccupation is probably not what they could do or thinking about the soft skills and what they could do in a few months, but more basically how they will eat tonight. And yeah, food banks are full. And it was on the news in Montreal
Right.
since a few days. And I think it's our collective responsibility also to look after each other. And as a company, Breather offered its spaces for free to people on the front line of the COVID crisis. And on a personal level, I know many of us, and not only Breather, but many of us started helping through donations and volunteering. I'm no stranger to more traditional companies and shaking them with technology. As real estate it's basically the most traditional industry you can think of. At Breather, for instance, we've unlocked the power of AI and machine learning to model occupancy prediction in our office, well, in office spaces in the different cities where we're in, allowing us to identify the most profitable office space before we sign new lease agreements. From a customer perspective, we use technology to enhance their experience. It's not just leasing an office space. We're offering all kinds of services that come around and that we can link through technology. I would say probably I'm a long-term thinker. I'm more interested in what could be than the actual details of implementation.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the master plan and how do we adapt it to the challenges we face excites me more than day-to-day execution.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And that's a personality type to see the big vision, but not know all the details and how it will actually work out. So sometimes it doesn't actually work out, as a
No,
result.
exactly. And along my career, I've always, as not everyone will say that, but I have no shame in that. I always felt the imposter complex.
Yeah, imposter syndrome. Yep.
Yeah, I feel like others on my team are doing the actual work because they implement. And I always felt that I had the easiest part. Building the plan and the strategy, it feels easy compared to implementing stuff.
Right. I read this book by John Acuff. I talk about it on LinkedIn all the time. It's called Finish. And in it, he talks about the fact that we naturally have things that come intrinsically easy to us and we find them simple. And when things are so simple, we feel like it doesn't count. So that's exactly what you're describing, that phenomena. Like, oh, it's so simple and the creative flow comes to you naturally. So you feel
Exactly.
like you're not contributing. But realistically, people that are implementing the business development and the app development that you're doing, they don't have necessarily that creative component, they just have the strategy to get it done. So it's working together, but I definitely understand
Yeah.
where you're from. You have to give yourself that recognition that you actually did it.
No, exactly. And you have to constantly remind or try to find, okay, I had an impact on that. So yeah, it's struggling, but you have to live with that. It's not
Definitely.
something that you usually discuss, but I think it's important because I think a lot of people, and probably a lot in managing position, are living or struggling with something, and they don't share it. I've always had managers and CEOs of companies that I got along pretty well with, and they put me where I could have an impact. I've met those kind of people that just see you for yourself and find your strengths and put you where you need to be. So as I was a poor developer for customers, the CEO of the company I was working for put me in a leadership role for product management. Still, I was developing, but having my colleagues around me, getting my code back and modifying it and making it work for the customer. But still, I had I was defining the plan and building the product, and it worked pretty well, and I discovered that I was good at that. From Mark Twain that I love is they didn't know it was impossible, so they did it. And yeah, I was like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I don't see the problem. I'll do that.
Right.
And then it failed.
There's always an end to everything. And you keep coming back to this notion of being lucky throughout your life, which on the one hand is a great way to look at life. It's very positive. On the other hand, not everyone sees things that way and they don't always see the opportunity or the light. So what steps have you taken in your life to have that mental safety net that you mentioned, and to be able to surround yourself with the right people who see your value and have that vision come to life?
I love mental sparring. And I've never been intimidated talking to the CEO of the company and giving my vision and debating. And I'm still like that with my team. I value being challenged, and as long as it's rational and logical, we can debate. Have a deep need to go and see beyond my horizon in every aspect of my life.
So at this point in your career, why do you continue to network on LinkedIn, and where do you see the value in that?
Well, a lot of people probably would tell you that I don't network. I'm
but here you are.
Yes, here I am. I'm not, I mean, I usually don't accept new connection if I didn't meet with the person, if I didn't check a hand. Before making a connection, I usually make sure of the well-founded of that connection, and trying to connect with the right people. Value the quality over the quantity. No, that's my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you kicking off Winning Wednesday with me.